BitSpeed, the insight you need. I'm Hou Jing. Right after U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited China's Taiwan region, U.S. President Joe Biden signed the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022. The act allocates $52.7 billion to the American chip manufacturing industry. The act also established the Chip 4 Alliance, composed of the U.S., Japan, South Korea, and China's Taiwan region. It's widely seen as a move intended to exclude the Chinese mainland from global chip supply chain. This is not the first time the U.S. has clamped down on potential competitor countries in the semiconductor industry. In the 1980s, Japan's semiconductor industry boomed and took up 50.3% of the global market share in 1988. Faced with this threat, the U.S. imposed sanctions on Japanese semiconductor companies like Toshiba, despite Japan being one of America's allies. In 2019, Japan's market share in the chip industry dropped to only 10%. Last year, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission asked a U.S. telecom company with less than 10 million users to remove and replace Huawei and ZTE equipment and spent $1.9 billion on subsidy. The U.S. is sparing no effort to completely block Chinese science and technology enterprises, even at an enormous cost to their own business. Such action brutally trampled on market economic rules of free competition. However, Japan's yesterday will not happen once more to China. First, China has a vast market for internal circulation. The famous product market fit principle clearly explains that what matters most is not factors like technology, but whether products can fit the market demand. With the Chinese government's announcement of building a unified national market earlier this year, domestic market power will be unleashed. In addition, actually the two countries also share deep common interest in science and technology. As reported by the Financial Times, the US and China are closely linked together, and any decoupling will deal a heavy blow to hundreds of US technology companies. The victims will include the US and the whole world, and American innovation capacity will be severely weakened as well. Henry Paulson, former U.S. Treasury Secretary and chairman of Paulson Foundation, argued that decoupling policies will create incompatible rules and standards in the global economy, hampering innovation and economic growth. With the development of modern globalization, the zero sum and the Cold War mentality make no sense. Mutually beneficial scientific and technology cooperation between China and the U.S. is significant to global development and human progress. The U.S. should rid itself of its zero-sum obsession and respect the legitimate development rights of other countries. It must stop imposing pressure on China and promote fair competition, win-win cooperation, and innovation among Chinese and U.S. industry in an open market.